days around.
Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we will be reacting to Tottenham Hotspur's dismal 2-0 defeat away from home against Manchester United at Old Trafford in the Premier League, as goals from Fred and Bruno Fernandes did the damage in the second half to send Tottenham back to London without any points on the board. We'll start with our man of the match for Tottenham.
For me, I think it's pretty obvious who the man of the match is. For Spurs, it's going to be Hugo Lloris.
It could have easily been 5-6-0 without him. He made some ridiculously good saves. Had some shaky moments. Couldn't do anything about the goals. They were just perfectly placed shot for the Bruno one, and then a wicked deflection for the goal from Fred. But really, he saved us from it being 6-7-0. And it's all but thanks to him that our goal difference is still a positive number. So let's run through quickly the events of the match. Nothing to hugely remark for Tottenham in the first half. Really just all Manchester United putting it towards the final third and forcing saves out of Hugo Lloris. Then we move to the second half.
In the second half, in the 47th minute, Fred finds himself with the ball on the edge of the box. He shoots, and it takes a wicked deflection off Dyer and just deflects right into the bottom left corner. Lloris obviously cannot get there. Lloris is wrong-footed, and Man United go 1-0 up.
Then Manchester United make it 2. In the 69th minute, Manchester United counter-attack after a Tottenham attack. Fred sees a shot blocked inside the box. The ball falls perfectly to Fernandez's right foot. He just curls it calmly, loops it over the goal, loops it right into the far corner of the goal to make it 2-0 to Erik ten Hag's side. And that's how the match finished. 2-0 to Manchester United. Easily our worst performance of the season.
I think probably our worst performance of the season. Maybe West Ham was behind this, but I have to say this was probably
really
our worst.
We had no spark in attack. Our whole first half was just us sitting back, defending, and counterattacking, which I think for the first half, that's fine. Because Manchester United are coming out rocking. They're at home. Old Trafford is rocking. So sitting back like that isn't the worst idea in the first half. And we were actually decent in the first half. We held out their attacks and we had good counterattacks. Second half is where it actually kind of started to fall apart. Our midfield was non-existent despite us playing a 3 in the middle. And then, because you're playing in a 3 in the middle, there's no one up front. You've got Kane and you've got Son. That's it. And everything's poured on our defense, and they can't keep Manchester United out forever. But what made it even worse was that the first goal was the making of a defensive error. Dyer headed it straight to, I think it was Jadon Sancho. It was Antony. He headed it straight to Antony, who just burst it off, gave it to Sancho, returned it to Fred, and Fred struck the ball into the net. So that goal came off of a defensive error. Then we're flat. We're doing nothing. Tottenham, were actually useless after the first goal. The second goal comes in. Then Manchester United almost get a third goal through Bruno, but it is called back for offside. And there was no spark at all. No changes from Antonio Conte until the 82nd minute, which is ridiculous.
We had to make those changes earlier. Clearly, the 3-5-2 formation didn't work. And as soon as we converted to a 3-4-3, you could see the difference. Despite having less midfielders, we were way more flexible in midfield, and we could get the ball up to our forwards. And having one more forward makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And there's just more people up forward, as you said. So it's much easier for us to attack. That should have been how we should have gone out in the second half, instead of continuing to just sit back. Because then Manchester United know, okay, they're sitting back, let's just play the ball how we want. And then you just get absolutely dominated. As you said, 3-5-2 doesn't work. But that's what all the fans wanted to see. Fans were like, oh, Son scored a hat-trick against Leicester when we were 3-5-2. 3-5-2 this, 3-5-2 that.
When we're playing a 3-5-2, we have so many players in midfield. We have to have control of possession. We have to have the flow of the game. And against a team like Manchester United, I don't think it clearly didn't work.
Yeah, because You have Højbjerg and Bentancur who are picking up all the scut work. They're doing everything. But then you've just got Bissouma, who's just making 5-yard passes today and wasn't really defending as much as he should have been. And, I mean, this has definitely opened up our eyes as well, because we predicted a 3-5-2, and we kind of wanted a 3-5-2 because we played so well. But then again, we played well against those bad teams. We played well against Leicester, who were bottom of the table. We played well against... I think we brought them on... What other games have we brought on a 3-5-2? I believe we probably did against Brighton and Fulham and teams like those. So that those are teams that are falling back. So we have the ability to get a man in midfield and they don't have to defend. But when we're playing a top team who do attack us, 3-5-2 just clearly isn't the way to go. And it didn't work for us today, and I just don't think it'll ever work because of the way that we play. I think we have to be much more open in midfield. I think Højbjerg and Bentancur work better in a midfield 2 than a midfield 3.
There's just no not communication, but they don't link very well together as a 3. It just feels way too much going on in midfield. We need to move the ball quicker, get it out of the midfield to our forwards quicker.
And then when too much happens in midfield, you end up just passing back to defense. So then it's just an endless thing between, okay, let's attack a little bit. Nope, go back to defense. Attack a little bit. No, go to defense. There was a point in the second half where we were in Manchester United's box, couldn't get out. So Perisic passes to, I think, Bissouma, and Bissouma goes back to Romero. We went from the opposition third to our own half while on the attack, which is not exactly the mentality that you want to have when you're attacking and you're a goal down.
The thing is, one of our midfield, if you want this to work, one of our midfielders has to push up. Bissouma is not pushing up.
Yeah, he has to either be a holding midfielder and drop all the way back, or he has to push so far up that he's an attacking midfielder.
It was like we were playing 3 defensive midfielders.
Yeah. That's what we were doing.
After that, it's just our 2 wingbacks that also have that need to support the forwards. They're the only 2, but they also have defensive duties, so you can't rely on them purely.
We were playing 3 in the middle as 3 defensive midfielders, but only one of our midfielders was not even defending. One of our midfielders in Bissouma was just passing. He was just kind of stood there, kind of acting like when we were defending, he was acting like he was an attacking mid. When we were attacking, he was acting like a defending mid. So it just wasn't the right makeup, and Bissouma's not the right guy to go in a 3-5-2 against a top 6 team because we're not going to get enough creation. As we saw in the 82nd minute when we brought on... who was it? Sanchez, Sessegnon, and Mora for Bissouma, Doherty, and Dyer. Barring the Sanchez and Sessegnon parts, the change in formation to make us a 3-4-3 with Lucas Moura moving up front immediately opened us up. We had a lot more freedom in midfield. We had another man up top. So that's why I think we should have started with Lucas Moura today.
The midfield just didn't seem as cramped when we switched to a 3-4-3. We were just able to get the ball quicker. I feel like Højbjerg and Bentancur, when they're playing with Bissouma they're more restricted on what they can do. Versus in midfield, they can spread out and get passes to each other. And they just work so well together. And it's like almost like Bissouma gets in the way of their passes, their possession spells, everything like that.
Yeah, definitely. But that is it for our instant reactions to Tottenham Hotspur's loss to Manchester United away in the Premier League. If you enjoyed, make sure you smash the subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoy our content. Comment down below who your man of the match for Spurs is and what your thoughts on the match are. And until next time,
come on, you Spurs!